I guess we're going to make this a normal occurrence. The Jets get their asses handed to them on national television. Here are my top 5 takeaways from the Jets-Ravens game.
Jets, 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 Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I had the opportunity to interview Avery Williamson the other night. It was a lot of fun. He's a really good guy. So look out for that video. That should be dropping in the next few days. But let's move on to the Jets-Ravens game. The Jets are now holding strong at the 9th overall pick with this loss, and with the Jaguars playing Oakland, if the Jaguars win, we could wind up sliding up into that 8th slot by the end of the weekend, so keep your eyes on that. At number 5, let's jump into the special teams unit. They had a pretty good night overall. By and large, definitely enjoyed what I saw out of them. The kick return and punt return games were both very good. We actually blocked a punt for a touchdown, which was, pretty impressive. Nice to see that. Ficken did miss the field goal in the first half. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, so maybe a little more forgiving there than just shanking one. And if you look at it, the first half of play, the special teams unit could have had us right there in contention with the Ravens. It really could have ended 16-21 at the half had we made that field goal, gone for it on 4th down when we were in field goal range, and if Sam did not throw that costly interception in the red zone. So we really were in a position to keep this game within 5 points heading into the half. This leads me into my 4th topic, and that would be the defense. And, going into this game, I really felt like we didn't really stand a chance. And outside of the first half, we got beat like a drum. They played well enough to give us, the potential of a 5-point difference heading into halftime had it not been for some questionable calls. But coming into the game, Pro Football Focus had us as 4.5 points worse than the average team, while the Ravens were 9.4 points better than the average team when compared on a neutral field. So that's what you're kind of looking at here. Plus, the Ravens had home field advantage, so that's sort of where you get the 17-point spread from, at least from an analytics standpoint, I guess. And they played a sloppy game. It was rough. There was one drive, I think we had 4 penalties in one drive. It was just completely abysmal, and you're playing with practice squad players. Let's keep this in perspective here. Remember, I showed this graph a little while ago, and it had $62 million worth of the Jets players on IR. Now, when you don't have Quinnen Williams or Jamal Adams in there, you're probably looking closer to $80 million worth of talent not being on the field. And keep in mind, this is the Super Bowl favorite, Baltimore Ravens. So keep everything in perspective here. We weren't really going to win this game. At number 3, I have Sam Darnold. He finished the night with 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And that is certainly nothing to write home about. And, maybe I'm a little off on my analysis here, but does anyone else get the feeling that he's almost like a Brett Favre type player? And I don't mean, from an arm talent perspective. Like, Brett had an elite arm. That velocity that came off his hand was nothing short of incredible. But what I mean is you see a lot of these, oh my God, these are incredible throws. Like that throw to Crowder in the end zone was just in the perfect spot. It was an absolutely elite throw. But you'll see these good throws, one after the other. And then you get this head-scratching interception at the end of the half from Sam, and you're like, what were you thinking? There's nothing there. Just take the field goal and move into halftime. Overall, Sam was really running around for his life last night. It felt like there was a free blitzer coming at him on every play. And when you look at the end of the game, you saw a little bit of that frustration kind of spill out. Gase and Sam looked like they exchanged a few words at the very end of the game. And look, I'm sure both guys are really frustrated. They just want the season to be over. I mean, when the NFL schedules such a lopsided, nationally televised game, there is no way anyone thought that the Ravens and the Jets at this point in the season were going to be a really competitive game. That should flex this out. There's no reason to just let the Jets get embarrassed. Let's go into the offseason. Let's let Joe Douglas retool his team and move on to next year. At number 2, I have Lamar Jackson, and what can you say but wow. 298 all-purpose yards, 5 touchdowns, and the new NFL record holder for rushing yards by a quarterback in a single season. Oh yeah, and he still has 2 more games to play. This guy is absolutely incredible. He is the version of Michael Vick from the 2004 Madden game that you could just run all over the field on everyone on, except this guy's faster and a better quarterback from the pocket. And to show just how rare Lamar Jackson is, he's actually the first quarterback prospect taken in the first round to have more rushing attempts in college than he had completions. This kind of leads me into my number 1 takeaway, which was the 2018 quarterback class. And there was a graphic that popped up during the game that showed how many wins each of those quarterbacks had this season. And it's kind of a little misleading. Yes, Lamar Jackson has done a fantastic job. He's clearly the best quarterback at this point in time in that quarterback class. But take things in perspective here. The Ravens and the Bills, both teams that have the two quarterbacks that are performing the best, were playoff caliber teams that needed to trade up for their quarterbacks. It's almost like when you have a really good playoff roster and you trade up for a quarterback and the quarterback's surrounded by talent, that quarterback does better. Who would have thought? It's almost like, the Chiefs and the Texans, who were both very good playoff caliber teams. They trade up, they get their quarterbacks. They're on a cheap rookie deal that pushes them over the top. It's a little unfair to grade Sam on the same scale that you would grade, Allen and Lamar Jackson on, just because the rosters are just so totally different. It's not like no one is going to say Sam Darnold's team has remotely the talent that either one of these quarterbacks have. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think of the game? And as always, go Jets.